Hello and welcome to Fantasy Factor, the 5th episode of the season. The show that will be sure to make your fantasy team win this upcoming Sunday. I'm Joshua Craig, and here we have Seth Previtil and Jack Geddes.
Hello.
Boys, I want to take it over to QBs to start it off. Jack, who do you have that's starting and doing a great job this week?
Starting and doing a great job? I'll tell you who's doing a great job, Joshua Craig. First of all, can I point out this...
Do not say my line.
I knew you would.
Great bow tie, great tie-dye dress shirt this man is wearing here.
Why? You look like you're going to a weird...
Gentlemen, this is a sports show. We like to keep it casual.
We like to have fun here,
Now,
Jack.
boys, let's go into
With
QBs.
a tie-dye dress shirt.
I'm not
Okay,
going to ask you
fine,
again, Jack.
fine. Andy Dalton, he's going to be great this week because he's versus the New Orleans Saints.
Great wording,
the
Jack.
Saints have allowed at least 14.4 points to each opposing quarterback. That includes the likes of Tyrod Taylor, Eli Manning, and Kirk Cousins, which Andy Dalton is better than each of them. He averages at least 2 touchdowns a game and over 250 yards, and those are already good numbers, so he's going to be inflated by this terrible Saints defense. And he's got great weapons around him, so I think he's a must-start for this week.
You know, I'm going to go against your team here, and I'm going to go with Matt Ryan this week at Cleveland. He is going to torch the Browns.
Oh.
Ryan leads all quarterbacks in passing yards per game, 335.6. And that comes after torching Washington last week. 350 yards with 4 touchdown passes on the road. He even found Julio Jones in the end zone, and that's a scary thought for people moving forward. Now, Cleveland has fallen to 27th in passing yards allowed after Mahomes had 375 yards and 3 touchdowns against them. So they're beatable now, and they're a little shorthanded on defense as well. So, I mean, Ryan's been putting up numbers all season long. He's going to keep doing it against your Cleveland Browns.
Maybe.
All right, I would like to tune it into Phillip Rivers at the Raiders. Rivers has now thrown multiple touchdown passes in 8 straight games. He is the only QB with multiple touchdown passes for every game this season. He will have a clean pocket face here with the Oakland Raiders pressure rate at 20.4%, which is the lowest percent in the NFL. So, but you know, Phillip Rivers for quarterback this week. Let's go to running back.
These are some fancy numbers, my dude. All right.
My goodness.
So I got Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack against the Jaguars here, and I'll tell you why. He's got 2 straight games with 25-plus points. The Jags always are known for having this mythical defense that it's the best ever. It's not. They're not that good this year. And Mack catches a lot of balls from Andrew Luck, and he runs the ball with great efficiency. And I think with the defense keeping their focus on Andrew Luck, it's going to open up a lot of holes for Marlon Mack to run through. And as I said before, Jags are not the best defense.
If I'm looking for a running back to start this week, I'm rolling with Melvin Gordon against the Oakland Raiders. Now, Gordon rushed 16 times for 113 yards with 1 touchdown against the Chargers in his first game back from that hamstring injury and off the bye week. The Oakland Raiders are one of the worst teams in the league against the rush.
Hey.
Just under 145 rushing yards allowed per game, the 4th most rushing yards allowed with 9 rushing touchdowns. And Gordon has found the end zone 10 times this year, 7 of which rushing, and that was with missing 1 game. So, again, I can't stress enough how bad the Oakland Raider defense is. The 6th worst overall defense in the league.
Jack,
this is the man you need to start.
I don't know how you feel about that. Seth, if I had a yellow banana, I would throw it at you immediately right now because that is what that is. That is a yellow banana.
That's a great pick.
All right, for those of you who have Jordan Howard on your team, or maybe not, try to make a trade for him, get him on your team. He is projected 11.8 points this weekend, which is not doing him justice. I expect Chicago to run all over Detroit this week. The Lions are a bottom 3 defense with both rushing yards at 142.5 and the yards per carry 5.14 allowed per game. The game script I'm seeing this week and allows Jordan to be targeted in the end zone and the red zone tons of times, so I'm projecting him to do really well. He's on the up for me this week, so... with that being said, let's roll over to wide receivers. I want to go with Seth first.
Why not me?
I'm going to roll with Michael Thomas this week at Cincinnati. 211 yards last week against the Rams on 12 receptions and 1 touchdown.
Seth.
Now, this man is facing a Bengals team who has allowed an NFL high 319.4 passing yards per game. And he's been ridiculously efficient, 70 of 79 targets this year. Now, Cincinnati, since silencing Mike Evans in Week 9, they've allowed over 100 yards and or a touchdown to Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, and Tyreek Hill. This is another elite wide receiver who's eclipsed 65 yards all but one time this year. So Thomas is a stud, and this man needs to start this week against the Bengals, who've allowed the 4th most passing touchdowns.
Jack, should you take this one?
Again, Seth, that is a yellow banana pick. Get some originality in your picks, man.
No, hey, listen,
I do
I'm
agree with
here-
start these
hold on a
guys.
sec. I'm here to help the people. That's what
They
this
know
segment
to
is
start
for.
Michael Thomas.
No, out of the players who to start, this is one of the players that if they're trying to figure out who they need to start, this is one of the guys.
All right, fine.
I do agree with you. Jack,
All
what do you
right,
got?
Josh Gordon is more like it. Let me tell you, he's at Tennessee this week. And
I
he
thought
got
you were trying to help the people.
I am trying. I'm helping the people. You're the one giving them yellow bananas.
That's helping them.
No, it's not.
I
All
want
right.
a ripe
So,
banana.
All right, Jack, go ahead.
So, all right. So Josh Gordon got a touchdown last week, and his usage is increasing each week. Tom Brady is looking to him more. If you watch the game on, I think it was earlier, he got more touches, and he was looking for him. They threw the end zone to him. He just tripped and missed it, but I think Josh Gordon's a must-pick for, here on out, honestly.
All right, boys, I like Juju Smith-Schuster versus the Panthers this week. ESPN projects him at a 16.8, and one of the reasons why I like him is because Ben Roth looks really good this weekend.
Ben Roth?
Ben Roethlisberger. I like to call him Ben Roth, a little slang for the kids out
short,
there
you know?
watching
I don't
the game.
like Ben
It
Roth.
saves the vocal
So
cords.
these are Ben Roethlisberger's facts. Averaging a league high of 43 passes attempt per game. Ben is at home and on a short week facing the Panthers defense that has given up a score on 5.7% on passing attempts, which is the 5th highest rate in the NFL. Now, with that being said, Juju Smith-Schuster is the wide receiver leader in the red zone, and with Carolina lacking in the red zone area, giving up the second worst red zone accepted in the NFL.
All right, Josh.
I project that he is going to be getting lots of touchdowns, and I would project that he is going to be returning to the earlier season Juju Smith-Schuster that we saw.
That's a bold prediction. Maybe you should go to the last segment of the show,
That
Jack's
is a
bold
big-
predictions.
Yeah, that was a big prediction right
So,
there. Good thing you picked a man who's starting tonight, though.
With that being said,
it's too late to
with
start.
with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back with some picks for you guys with the Fantasy Factor. Stay tuned.
Is how are you, Precious? Okay.
Take out the pressure. It's way too cheesy.
Okay, yeah.
Just go,
sure.
hey, how are you?
Nope.
How's your day?
Yeah.
Don't be cheesy.
Yeah, I figured.
So, what'd she say?
She's still typing. I'm not sure. She never takes this long.
I wouldn't worry about it. Give it a few minutes.
Okay.
The second I got on the campus, I knew Oswego was the place to go.
There's a place for everybody at Oswego.
This school just opens the world to you. Have the opportunity to explore and to learn so many different things, not only about yourself, but the people around you and the world.
It definitely is about the student. I felt it to be very about me. Now that I'm here, I can't imagine myself anywhere else.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back to Fantasy Factor. Here is who to pick up. Jack?
All right. We're going right into it here. I suggest everyone here to pick up Nick Mullins. All right, only 8% of leagues. This man went off last week, and guess who started him? Me. Okay, I started him. He is.
How'd your team do?
Oh, they didn't do so well. But I lost the game, but I still won.
He did.
And against the New York Giants, he's going to continue this fluke, if you can call it. He looked comfortable in that offense. So much more comfortable than C.J. Beathard. I mean, I think he's won the starting job, and I think he's won the starting place in your fantasy lineup.
If he keeps playing the way he did last week, that's not a bad way to roll here. But I'm going to go with Josh Rosen. He plays the Kansas City Chiefs this week, who are one of the worst defenses against the rush. I mean, excuse me, in the passing game. In the first game with interim offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich in Week 8 against San Francisco, he had the best fantasy outing of his season. 252 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and he added 12 rushing yards. Now, with the bye week in Week 9, he's had enough time to work with Leftwich a little bit more. And it also helps that Kansas City allows 22 points to opposing quarterbacks in fantasy this season. So, like I said, they're one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL. Over 300 passing yards per game and 15 touchdowns allowed. But this is a great pickup if Josh Rosen's available.
He's not a good pickup because he's not good.
For this particular week,
you're looking over this main fact.
I'm talking about for this week, he's a great pickup if you need a quarterback.
But you're going to get no points.
You are. I just pointed out that Kansas City gives up 22 points a game to quarterbacks. I don't know how that doesn't equate to points.
All right, let me throw a quick one at you, boys. We got John Ross, which is a Cincinnati wide receiver. He's going to be He's going to be the second wide receiver for the team this week because Tyler Boyd is moving up to number 1 because A.J. Green is out with a toe injury. So here's what I'm thinking. Tyler Boyd has been the number 2 on this team, but he's been looking like a number 1 just because he has been the number 2 and has been getting less coverage as far as as the opposing teams. So I'm thinking this week with John Rose only being owned in only being owned in 12% of leagues, we know that Andy Dalton targets that second guy. So I think that Tyler Boyd will be getting a lot of coverage on him. So it'll be opening John Ross on the Saints defense. I think he's going to get him points. So pick him up. We'll see what he does. Start him with a flex.
Pick him up.
Anyway.
All right.
So
I'm going to tell you the running back to pick up. He's owned in quite a few bit of leagues, but Duke Johnson Jr., 65% of leagues. He is very good. And again, as I said about this, the Browns' offense, their new offensive system, is going to use the running backs more. He had 2 touchdowns last week, and he consistently gets around 6, 7, 8 points a game. But with this new offensive scheme, he's going to have at least 15 almost every week here on out because he's a big receiving running back.
You are such a Cleveland fanboy.
I'm not a Cleveland fanboy. They're good.
You really are, Jack. You have been putting out a lot of Cleveland fanboy facts.
Earlier in the season, he got 2 points. I didn't start him.
Did you say Duke Johnson Jr. earlier, too? You were talking about him for a while?
But anyway.
What do you got, Seth?
We're talking about running backs. Excuse me, it's my turn. We're talking about running backs. Josh Adams, if he's available, pick him up. The Eagles are coming off their bye week with Adams as their lead running back the way he played in Week 8 against Jacksonville in London. He led the team in carries with 9, rushing yards, 61 against that Jags D. Now, Wendell Smallwood and Corey Clement are going to be, they're going to play a big role in this offense here. And Dallas is decent against the run, but moving forward, Josh Adams could play a big role for this Eagles offense.
So what are you saying to do to Josh Adams?
I'm saying to pick him up.
To what?
Pick him up.
All right, there we go. Now I'm going to move on to wide receivers here. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You heard me right. That is a mouthful. This
really
guy is owned in
you?
50% of leagues. And let me tell you, Geronimo Allen of the Packers, he is gone for the season. Bye-bye, gone. You know who's coming in? Valdez-Scantling, okay? He will take his place. He averaged above 10 points a game for 4 weeks straight. And with Geronimo Allen gone, he is going to increase those numbers. And Aaron Rodgers, let's look at that. He's very good. Aaron Rodgers is very good.
He's talking about Aaron Rodgers being good.
Yes.
This is a known fact that everyone knows.
Exactly.
Not even people that do fantasy know that Aaron Rodgers does good.
Therefore,
continue, Jack.
Just making a good point.
Okay.
But
Therefore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is someone to pick up if he's available in your league and start him this week.
All right, for me, I'm going to go with Maurice Harris from the Washington Redskins against Tampa Bay. He's owned in 1% of leagues. 1%.
What?
And he should be locked into a key role with Washington. Now, Richardson is out for the season. Crowder's a little bit banged up. Harris is coming off a strong game against Atlanta. He had 10 catches, 124 yards on 12 targets. That could be a sign of things to come. And we're talking about a Bucs team that have allowed the most touchdowns in the NFL with 22 touchdowns this season, and the third most passing yards in the league. So if Harris is available, you got to get him.
Do you have to get him?
What
do you have to do?
I might have to if I have the room on my bench. I might pick him up a little.
All right, gentlemen, these are both very interesting waiver wire pickups. I like them both. Hopefully these guys check them out. But stay tuned for some more Fantasy Factor, and we'll be right back with you after the commercial break.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to Fantasy Factor. Here's the segment we like to call Versus, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this weekend. Since the trades and changes of the week have affected the NFL, we're going to tell you what this means for your fantasy teams. We're going to start off with Amari Cooper versus the Raiders wide receivers. Seth?
Or
what? Or Jack?
Yeah, I know we look very similar.
Whoever.
It was the hair. I know.
I mean,
it was the hair that threw it on.
I'm the only one with blonde hair here.
Jack, I'll let you go first.
I'm so
You'll
sorry.
Let me go first? All right.
You want to go first? Say something ridiculous.
All right.
So
You're right. You betcha. You betcha, Seth. All right. Amari Cooper's value is going down, and I'll tell you why. Number one reason.
Going down?
It's going down. Derek Carr is better than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is going to lower this man's value significantly. All right? Dallas only passes the ball on 54% of plays. That's good for fourth worst in the NFL. And Dak Prescott only has a 3.9 pass touchdown rate. He's not going to throw a lot of touchdowns to Amari Cooper. Therefore, the Raiders wide receivers are going to get more options.
Is this man done?
Jack, did you watch the game?
I did. Have you been watching Derek Carr this season, though? Because for the third time this year, he had 6 or fewer points in a standard league. 6! 3 times this year. He had 6 total points against San Francisco last week. You're going to sit there and tell me that he's better than Dak Prescott?
He's better than Dak Prescott.
No! He's not. Now, granted, they're both not having great years. But
Dak Prescott's having a terrible year.
Dak Prescott has a better offense. He can do something that Derek Carr can't, and that's run the football and run it effectively with the correct play calling. Now,
with the correct play calling.
Back to, by the coaches, back to the original topic. Amari Cooper is going to excel in this Cowboy offense because you have Ezekiel Elliott in that backfield. You still have a pretty decent offensive line. And Cooper right now, I mean, he's going to find some more play time, he's going to find more open lanes. This man is going to go off with the Cowboys. And you already saw it last week. He scored a touchdown immediately.
He got like 4 receptions and then a touchdown, and then he touched the ball.
But You saw
the argument here, boys, is Amari Cooper versus the Raiders wide receivers, and here's why I think Amari Cooper is going to do better now. It's because he's on a Dallas offense who is only going to grow because they're adding this piece which they have been missing.
Dallas
so I think they're going to be getting it to him. They're going to be getting to Zeke. They're going to be getting to all these receivers. I'm not saying that the Raiders wide receivers aren't going to be doing terrible, but I mean they're honestly their weight might go up a little bit, but it's not going to be anything as far as Amari Cooper. His weight is going to be huge onto this.
And to
this
clarify,
defense.
I mean, I'm not saying I am a Cowboys fan. I mean, we know that, but this Raiders team is terrible. They're awful.
Speaking of being a Cowboys fan,
fine. I'll give you that.
Speaking of being a Cowboys fan, we have Des Bryant, who just got traded to the Saints. Will this affect Michael Thomas, and will Des excel over Michael Thomas on this team? Who wants to start here?
Well, I'm going to go with, I don't think this is really going to affect Michael Thomas at all. If anything, I think it's going to help him because now Michael Thomas, he's an elite wide receiver in the NFL. We know this. But with Des Bryant's presence, if he can even be a fraction of what he once was, that's going to allow for more one-on-one coverage for Michael Thomas. That's going to help him even more. Score more points, score more touchdowns, which he's been doing all season. Drew Brees loves to throw to him, but you have Des Bryant in there now, and if he can be productive, this is going to be a great thing for Michael Thomas.
But Des Bryant's going to take away a lot of touchdowns from Michael Thomas.
No,
Do you not agree?
He's not the Des Bryant of old. I don't think that's the case.
You think he's different?
Honestly,
Des Bryant is different.
If you look at Michael Thomas's stats too,
he's played all year, dude.
He doesn't score touchdowns. If you look, he's only scored like 4 touchdowns.
Michael Thomas scores touchdowns.
No. He does not score touchdowns.
He does.
He gets a lot of his points with receptions and yards. So I think that even if Des Bryant does start getting those red end touchdown passes, I don't think it's going to affect Michael Thomas
at all. And the Saints already have so many key weapons on offense. I mean, we're talking about Alvin Kamara.
Fine.
Come on,
fine,
man.
Seth, fine.
This is going to help.
All right, I'm going to go here for, I'm going to give you another option. Le'Veon Bell or James Conner? Do you think Le'Veon Bell gets his job if he comes back?
No, I mean, I think Conner's been killing it all year. 10 rushing touchdowns. He's had a receiving touchdown. He's putting up yards every single game. This man has been killing it, and he wants to play. You know, I mean, clearly Le'Veon Bell does not want to play. He wants money more.
I do agree, but I mean, if Le'Veon comes back, you got to give the ball to him.
No, not if he hasn't played.
But he's an amazing
If it
talent.
ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's exactly what Conner's been doing.
Here we see a great case of someone that has fought for their spot, and I think he's done a great job. So I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna change anything on this offense. So there's been the changes for the NFL and for fantasy. Hopefully you learned something here, and stay tuned after the commercial break. We're gonna be right back with you with Jack's bold predictions.
Hey, good morning, James.
Morning.
James, wake up. It's Rise and Shine time. James, Rise and Shine. James, wake up. We're starting the show.
Good morning and welcome back to Rise and Shine at 9. I'm James Gattato here with your next update.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
If you think trains will stop if they see a car on the tracks, you're right. They will. About a mile after they hit you. Stop. Trains can't.
Welcome back to Fantasy Factor, and Where is Jack? Where is he gone now, Seth?
He's probably trying to formulate a decent fantasy football team. Have you heard this man's advice?
You know, I don't think that's possible with Jack, though. The things that go through his head, he's probably starting the whole entire Rams.
He's ruining his roster.
He's probably starting
right
the whole
now,
entire Browns offense and defense, and who cares? I don't know. He needs the Lord.
I'm ready for a vacation again.
Oh, hey!
There he is.
Come on, guys. I'm not in Cleveland. I'm over here, Oswego, New York. Okay? And let me tell you who my bold predictions are for this week. Actually, it's not for this week. It's for this season. Let me tell you. Nick Mullins, guess what he's going to do? He is going to be the new starting quarterback in the 49ers, not just for the end of this season, but for next season as well. He is going to beat out Jimmy Garoppolo for the starting spot. Let me tell you these two ratings. Let me tell you these.
The man that you just signed long term?
Seth, before you get in your little hissy fit, let me tell you why. I'm going to give you two quarterback ratings. One is a 90. The other is 151.
He played one good game.
Jack is one of those people that finds somebody, they see someone go off for one game and then instantly starts in the next one. Like, he's that person that makes sure they picks him up and then trades him away, even though their value is absolutely zero.
The Raiders are one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
Anyway, one had a 90 quarterback rating for the season, one had 151. One of those is a franchise quarterback, and the other one is an undrafted rookie. Nick Mullins has the 151.
Okay, Jack, do you remember that the 49ers signed Jimmy Garoppolo to the richest quarterback contract in history at the time that it was given? So you're saying that Mullins is going to start over him next season?
Yes, Seth, you can finally listen properly.
My goodness.
All right, so Bortles,
I don't even know.
You know Blake Bortles of the Jacksonville Jaguars? Do you? Well, he is not
I want to hear what you have to say first.
He is not good, and I'll tell you
That
why.
goes without saying.
Okay, he's not good, so he's not going to be the starter the rest of the year. You hear me? Cody Kessler is going to become the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's going to be a much better player on the offensive end than Blake Bortles.
You don't think
Blake
Bortles is going to
Jaguars
start
are
on
going
his
to go
Jaguars team?
to the playoffs?
Well, what about all that talk that Blake Bortles can lead us to a championship? They said that they believe in Blake Bortles.
I think the
Cody
Jags
Kessler's the answer.
The Jags are sitting comfortably for a spot for possibly playoffs.
I wouldn't say comfortably, but
not
yeah.
They're a team that could possibly make it to the playoffs. So I think that they're gonna start the quarterback that they trust in the most.
Josh, what was that move there?
I don't know why.
You falling asleep?
I'm trying to an extent, I do get what you're saying with that, but Cody Kessler's not the answer.
He played in a game earlier, and he did a great job.
This man wants us to start the rookie quarterbacks.
All right,
Jack,
okay.
please go to the next.
My next one is quickly AJ Green. He's not coming back this year. The toe injury will keep him out the entire year.
The toe injury?
The toe injury. Last year, the same thing happened. All right? He is a wimp when it comes to that stuff. He will not start. He will not push through the injury.
It's a toe. He'll be back by the end of the year.
Talk about toe man last year.
If they end up in the playoff race, I mean, he's still going to be in there.
All right.
I mean, even if he's out, I think they're sitting comfortably with Tyler Boyd anyways, and I think they're sitting comfortably with John Ross.
Okay.
The guy
all
that I
right,
brought up
fine.
earlier.
I'll give you one more. Seth, I got a question for you, my dog. So, a little event transpired in this past weekend at a Vanellaween, and I wanna show you what happened.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, thank you all for coming to Vanellaween. Get home safely, and just for safe measure here. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. Have a good night.
I can explain.
What was going through your mind?
Let me explain what happened here. I nailed it.
Oh, there it is again.
I nailed it in the practice attempts. All right, every single time.
I cannot vouch for that.
And then as soon as the video happened, I choked. I pulled an Atlanta Falcons right
the man
there.
can't.
I blew a 25-3 lead there. That's what happened.
You saying you pulled the Atlanta Falcons?
I pulled.
You pulled a 28-3.
I blew it, dude. I choked, and I admitted it, okay? I'm sorry. Thank you for pointing it out to all of our wonderful, loyal viewers.
As you can see, that Seth sometimes he messes up with his bottle flips, and Jack, he just is a terrible play caller. But you know, that is Fantasy Factor for you. Thank you so much for tuning in again for another Fantasy Factor. Hopefully it was successful, and hopefully you listened to what we had to say.
Hopefully you didn't listen to Jack.
Hopefully you didn't listen to Jack.
Hopefully you didn't